What a busy week it's been in the transfer market already so far. We've seen Zinchenko move. We're about to see more movements from Man City with Mark Cucurella. There are people been chomping at the bit asking about Leicester City and James Morrison. You are in the right place for the latest transfer news. We've got Steve in the back, as I always say. He's chomping at the bit to give you the news. Get your feet up and get your tea ready, because it's the one place to get the latest transfer news first, the Transfer Exchange Show. Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live, and I've got Steve K in the building. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, how you doing, Kieran? Looking forward to tonight. Got some good news for Leicester fans, Man United fans, Spurs fans, and much more. So, looking forward to getting into it.
All right. Let's get it started. So, first of all, Nottingham Forest have made a bid for former Manchester United star Jesse Lingard. It was thought that he was going to be going to West Ham, but Nottingham Forest have come with a bid. Steve, big move for Nottingham Forest. I think they've made the most signings so far in the Premier League. I think 7 signings so far, and they're after some Premier League pedigree as well here.
Yeah, very big signing. I mean, they've already made a few, like you've already said. West Ham. I mean, I think they thought they had it, done and dusted this one. As far back as January. But Newcastle, they pulled out. But Forest are really going in on this one. And by all accounts, have put in a very substantial offer for Jesse Lingard. He has got offers from abroad, so he's actually got people lining up for his signature. But it's going to be interesting. And Forest ain't messing about; they're not messing about. So it'd be interesting to see if he comes in. I think he'll do well for both of those clubs, really.
All right. AS Monaco made an offer for the Leicester City midfielder Boubakary Samari. Leicester rejected that bid of 15 mil as they want 20 million euros for the player. Brendan Rodgers revealed that Leicester are no closer to agreeing a contract with Youri Tielemans amid transfer interest from Arsenal. Asked for an update on Tielemans, Brendan Rodgers said contract negotiations at Leicester. On Tielemans' contract negotiations at Leicester. Brendan Rodgers said there is no update at all. This player is not signing a new contract. Steve, you got a little bit more news on Youri Tielemans?
Yep. Before we go into Leicester, I've got some news on Youri Tielemans. This is one question I think in all the transfer windows since it started that I've been asked the most. Is what's the latest on Youri Tielemans? If I had a pound for every time I was asked that question, I think I'd be a very rich man. He's got 12 months left on his contract, and look, if they get a suitable offer, Leicester will sell. Arsenal are very interested in him. I'm hearing Leicester want around 31 million, which is quite strange. I was given that amount quite sort of rubber stamped, but 31 million it was for the player. Arsenal's first bid was around 25 million, and like you've already said, Brendan Rodgers said this week that talks over a new contract had not progressed. Tielemans has said he wants to leave this summer. Arsenal are preparing for they're preparing for the new season, and it remains. This is what Youri Tielemans said. He's preparing for the new season. It remains to be seen whether it will be at Leicester or elsewhere. Now, I don't know how you're going to take that. For me, I take that as it's because he's got a year contract, and and they don't accept the bid, then he's pretty much stuck where he is, and he'll go at the end of the season for nothing. And other than that, if they accept the bid from Arsenal, then he'll go. So, yeah.
It's one of the ones where they probably look, if it gets down later on in the window, if Arsenal are standing strong on their offer, it's probably a bid they should just take. rather than losing on a free transfer. This question I've been asked multiple times in the last 2 weeks. James Maddison once again. There's been a lot of links to Spurs. It's said in one of the papers that they're an admirer. What news have you got on James Maddison?
Yeah, I didn't know much about James Maddison before today, so I got in touch with a few contacts. I mean, we all know James Maddison, very good attacking midfield player, 25 years old, so still a good age. It's always seemed to me that he was been around for quite a while, and I thought he was older than that actually. So, but he's a very good age. His contract expires in 2024, so it is at that time where he either signs a new one or they moving on. I've been told from a very strong source connected to Spurs that he's definitely one Spurs are strongly considering.
Okay.
Which before I started looking into this, I was skeptical. I'm not skeptical anymore. Like I said, he's definitely one Spurs are strongly considering. Spurs are looking to sign an attacking midfielder to finish off their already very successful transfer window. They've bought I think about 6 players now, and they want to make it a 7th with an attacking midfield player, and this one could be James Maddison. I've been told that they want a homegrown player, and are willing to spend big money on it. So this one is definitely a possibility, because as I'll probably explain a little more later, Leicester City need to sell to buy players. So players like Tielemans and Maddison, big earners, probably will get good money for them. Not in Europe. So these two look, certain to possibly move on. But yeah, James Maddison, Spurs fans that are watching, there's definitely an interest. I can assure you of that, which is something that I wasn't too sure on, as I say, before I looked into it today. So definite interest.
Yeah, and on that, this transfer was brought to our attention, and it's also something else that we do. You can't be on the button for every single transfer out there. There's hundreds and hundreds going on. But if you hear a transfer from that you might think is a bit dubious, it's a bit ropey, from one of the standard tabloid papers that all just pump out everything, ask us and we'll get in contact with our contacts and rubber stamp it. Do you know what I mean? Because there are a lot of stories out there, but what you'll find on our page is that it's straight down the line. It's sticking to that story. It's not. That's why I don't hear a lot of these other stories on the other side, because once you hear from the contacts that the club is after this player, you don't really look elsewhere. You keep an eye on that. You ask for updates on that player. There's a lot always going about, but as I said, don't always feel free to ask, because Steve's inbox is open. My inbox ain't open, but you just jump in the comment section. I can't have the inbox open. I had it open before, and it's just a nightmare. But Steve's is there for you, mate.
I mean, this is a good example to what you said, Kieran. I didn't know much about this. The first thing this morning, I started looking about, and I see the accounts that were sort of saying not too much, but there was some kind of coming up with personal terms agreed and all these things. So I was like, and no disrespect to the council that was reporting there. I thought, no, this is not something I'm going to come on tonight and tell our viewers, because like Kieran just said, we're straight down the line. But as I say, I went straight to a very strong contact and got this information. And you can take 100% sure that Spurs are interested. So exactly what Kieran said there. Yeah, whack them in the inbox, send me, something you want to know, and I'll do my best.
All right. Next up, Brian Brobby's close to returning to Ajax. Man United did inquire about the striker, but he's on the verge of joining Ajax from RB Leipzig. Jules Koundé to Chelsea. Chelsea are I think they're put close their bid. They're close to signing him, aren't they? So Jules Koundé looks like he's very close to signing Chelsea. Do you have any more on that, Steve?
Just that they're very close. I mean, Barcelona are apparently still in the, still in the race for him. But if they bought in Kundi as well after already buying the players that they've already got, I'm beginning to be very sceptical about, that. I had a very good conversation with some of them Barcelona earlier. No, well, not early. It was last night. So it was late last night that. Barcelona ain't in a situation where you've got a massive club in Barcelona, and I was told that with big massive clubs, they have massive debt, and people just roll off money to them. And I was told with the Super League and everything on, it could be a little bit of a, a sort of a smokescreen with all this, but that I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Jules Koundé, he would come into Chelsea. They're close. Personal terms, it doesn't look like a bit of problem. He definitely wants to leave. He definitely wants to play in the Premiership. They've already brought in Koulibaly. So yeah, I think this one could happen.
All right. Where are we? Armando Borja and Billy Gilmour look like they are on their way soon. As they flew back early from the US tour, Gilmour has a number of suitors after him, while Borja looks like he's on the verge of signing for West Ham. Harsh, that one, Kieran, though. Harsh. Billy Gilmour literally told to go home from the pre-season tour. Oh, was that what it was, to go and find a club? Yeah. Literally, Tuchel's literally gone up to him on pre-season tour and said, look, you ain't it. I mean, the way he come across it was put it in a very nice way. Yeah, the way he said it, but it was like, no, we don't want you. You need to go home and you need to be moved on. And the same with Broja. As much as he keeps saying, "Oh, we want to keep him, we don't want to sell him." That's just a little ploy just to get more money for him. So yeah, bit harsh, I thought. Yeah, and it's a massive turnaround from Chelsea. If you're looking at Gilmour from 2 years ago, where Frank Lampard brought him through and he was lauded as potentially the next big thing to come through. But since then he's been on loan to Norwich City, and it's looking like he's going to be on his way out. So good luck to Billy Gilmour. Maybe Everton might have a little sniff about seeing this Frank Lampard.
Yeah, good shot.
Matthias Ligt has completed his move from Juventus to Bayern Munich for £68 million. The Ligt's move will be an initial £59 million up front plus £8.5 million in add-ons. The 22-year-old Netherlands international signed a 5-year deal until the summer of 2027. That's a solid signing from Bayern Munich. Very good signing. The Ligt, I just don't feel like his move to Juventus worked out personally. No. I think he was regarded as one of the best up-and-coming centre-backs when he moved from Ajax to Juventus in a big money move. And I just, for me, his stock hasn't risen in the same way. Although he has kept his valuation, and Bayern Munich, I think it's a great move for him. I think this could potentially be the one where he really cements himself on the European stage at this one.
I don't know what you think, Kieran, but I was surprised of the move in the first place.
100%, but it's Mino Raiola, isn't it? And he's linked to Juventus.
If I'm an agent of, De Ligt, I'm saying, look, you someone from the Ajax conveyor belt. You're a great ball playing centre back. The last place you want to go is go and play in Serie A. Because you're not. You're just going to. All they want there is Boschers mainly.
Yeah, they do.
And he's was just getting wasted. He's got so much ability, and he hadn't had a chance to show it for Juventus. But great move, mate. I think. And I don't know. What do you think about the price? Do you think that's a lot? Do you think
it's a lot? But I think Bayern Munich recognise that he's quality. They recognise that he's got all the attributes to become a world-class defender. He's not the fastest, but he reads the game well. He's a proper leader, and I'm sure he would have learned quite a bit in his time at Juventus as well. Because if there's one place you want to learn how to become a defender, it's definitely Italy. As we know, they've got a massive list of top world-class defenders that have gone through their systems. Manchester United news. I know that Man United fans have been chomping at the bit for this. Obviously, there's the Cristiano Ronaldo. Is he staying? Is he going? Is he Atletico Madrid? Is that the place for him? If he does go, are they going to bring in a replacement? Are they bringing in a right back? There's so much news that Man United fans want to know. Let's have it, Steve.
Right. Yeah, there is quite a bit. Where should we start? Look, let's start with the right back, because we all know that Manchester United are looking for a right back, and the chances of them getting one in before the end of the window is pretty high. 26-year-old from Inter Milan, Denzel Dumfries, someone very high up on Ten Hag's list. Contract runs out in 2025, so he's looked at this guy's going to cost money. But a big target of Manchester United, a very, very good wing back, which is what Ten Hag is looking for. I mean, this signing would all depend on selling Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They are in the process of trying to find a buyer for him. Talks have been had with Crystal Palace, but Vieira wants only a loan deal. But United want just a permanent one. But talks are continuing there. Diogo Dalot, who's he's going to be staying, and it is a big part of Ten Hag's plans for next season. Dumfries has been identified by Ten Hag though, but and I don't know what you think, Kieran, but I think it'll be really good competition for Dalot, who I think in this pre-season has really impressed. For Manchester United. So
I think Ten Hag's style of play suits Dalot more. He's an attacking fullback. He's very technically gifted. Going forward, Dalot is very, very good. It's defensive wise, but I think if you've got a player, if you've got a manager that suits the game of your attacking football, then he's gonna make sure he accentuates all your key abilities and he's covered on the others, on your weaknesses. So I think Dalot will be all right, and I think he'd do well to keep him. But Aaron Wan-Bissaka is just not that style of play. It just won't work. If Aaron Wan-Bissaka was a centre back, it might work, but he's not. He's a right back. He's a full back. So no. Frankie de Jong. We can't speak about Manchester United without speaking about the infamous Frankie de Jong. Now, I heard a rumour. I won't say anything. I heard a rumour. I need
rumours on here.
I need to clarify this. But Frankie de Jong, what's the rumours going around that Chelsea are interested in him?
No. Look, if by some, I'll explain in a minute, but if by some chance, right, again, just think logically, people. If by some chance De Jong left Barcelona, right, if he came to the Premiership, it would be Manchester United because of the relationship that he's got with Ten Hag, that he's got with his best mates at Donny van der Beek, and Chelsea. No, as far as I know, what I've been told, and we'll see what happens in the season or seasons to come. They're looking at Declan Rice for that position. So and Chelsea have spent a lot of money already. So I again, like you said, Kieran, that for me that's just a rumor. That's just a rumor. I can't see that. I can't see that happening.
So Man United fans are at ease right now until you tell them what next. What's the next latest on Frankie de Jong to Man United then?
Well, just look. There's no change. There's no change with Frankie de Jong. He doesn't. Look, we're just repeating ourselves from what we said. But for those who haven't seen the shows, we'll go through it again. He doesn't want to leave. The agent has said he does not want to join United. He's been quoted by saying he doesn't want to join United. Frankie de Jong holds all the cards. He's under contract until 2026. So Barcelona can't force him out. They can't drop his wages because he's in a contract. They can ask him to drop his wages, but he can tell them to go and do one. And I think he would go and do them, considering that he's owed €70 million in wages already. So I don't think he's going to take another wage cut unless he's a bit bit stupid, which I'm pretty sure Frankie de Jong is, and he's got a very good manager, very good coach.
Forget if Frankie de Jong wanted to take willing, his agent would be like, "You are not a chance, mate. Not a chance. I've just bought a brand new boat, a brand new car, and you're going to try and tell me that I've got to go and sort out finance on that and send it back. Not a chance. You're staying and you're getting that 17 million.
No, Ali Dursun is an excellent agent, and like you said, he ain't gonna have a client who's just gonna keep cutting their wages every 5 minutes. So you're absolutely right there. Look, on top of that, personal terms haven't been spoken about. Frankie at the moment, he's on pre-season tour at the moment. He played in there in last night's game in a 6-0 win, and Laporta has come out and said he don't want to sell him. Sorry, but then we hear from Ten Hag that he still wants him. So when you put everything, all I said before the last bit, it could still happen, people. This is the transfer world, but it'll be, if he does get him, Ten Hag, then I think he'll be lauded by Man United fans forevermore, because he'd be like a Houdini act or something like that. It'd be unbelievable, and I'll have to hold my hands up to him. But no, that's where we are with Frankie de Jong.
I mean, to be honest, Steve, there's nothing to hold your hands up about, because it's just reporting the news that we got. It's funny enough. These match day reporters that suddenly turned into transfer tier 1 reporters, from what I've been told, I've gone pretty quiet on the subject, considering that personal terms were agreed a month ago. A fee was agreed months ago. I mean, this is the slowest transfer. This is the slowest transfer of all time, considering personal terms are agreed with the player, and he's desperate to leave, and a fee's been agreed. So, I mean, I don't know, but apparently he's not going to go because he's waiting for his 17 million. Which, I mean,
we forgot to add. I forgot to add to that list. He's got Champions League football, and Man United are hardly in the greatest of places at the minute. And on the pitch, Barcelona looking like they're doing bits. So, just signed Lewandowski, and the Belly's staying there. They've just bought Frank Kessie.
If they've just signed Lewandowski,
come on,
Frankie de Jong, do you think he wants to go?
No.
He wants to be a part. You'll be looking at that, thinking, actually, we could do something this season. There's no way I'd want to go to a team that's currently in Europa League when their star man Cristiano Ronaldo also wants to leave.
That don't look good, does it?
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
It don't look good.
Any news on Cristiano Ronaldo?
He's keeping very quiet at the moment. We know that he's said that he's got family problems, and we have to respect that, and we have to believe that, and I'm sure he is, and I hope he gets them sorted out soon. But there's not really any clubs, really out there. I don't know where he can go, Kieran. I think, do you know what? Going by what Ten Hag said in the week, he's saying very strong in his wording of the fact that he's staying. He's not going. Now, considering he's a brand new manager, and considering he's just come into the club, obviously there's still a lot of people there who want Ronaldo to stay. That ain't going to look good, is it? If he goes, because people are going to turn to Ten Hag and say, "Well, what are you on about? You said he was staying."
Yeah, look,
and you would have thought he's had a chat. You must have spoken to him, mustn't he, by now?
Yeah, and look, even if he's saying he's staying, he would have said to Cristiano Ronaldo, even if it's in the background, like, you ain't going unless we've got a replacement for you. Like, and right now you're in my plans to stay next season. Like, and Cristiano Ronaldo's not got a leg to stand on. No. And if you're talking about how many clubs out there can bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, like it's gone so far around that it ended up as the most ludicrous story ever. The Sporting Lisbon were going to take Cristiano Ronaldo. Where the hell are they about to get 500 grand a week from? Plus the transfer fee.
Yeah.
Like, this is a Portuguese league, people. And even Cristiano Ronaldo turned around and put out a tweet saying it was fake news. Like, there's literally nowhere left. That's why you see moves about Atletico Madrid. Like, could you imagine? This geezer really don't care about his legacies if he's about to move from Real Madrid, where he's a legend. That's where he's the biggest legend, is Real Madrid, to Atletico Madrid. You saw what Barcelona fans were like with Figo. Like, Cristiano Ronaldo won't be able to step foot in Madrid for a long while, if that's the case. A long while. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any developments on that one.
I mean, Chelsea, look, that fits a little bit. But as you said,
Tuchel said no, innit he?
Tuchel said no, he don't want him there. Many clubs now have turned around and said, look, Ronaldo, the GOAT, unbelievable, one of the best, probably the best player of all time. But he don't fit into our plans for next season and how we want to be and the places where we want to go. And Bayern Munich have said it. Barcelona have bought, Lewandowski. You could go on with all the top clubs. Italy maybe. I don't know. He could go back to Italy, but it's the wages as well. And again, if Man United do decide to let him go, and they've got to pay his contracts off, haven't they? So they're not going to do that unless they get really good fee for him. We'll have to wait and see on that one, mate. I've got a funny feeling he might even stay.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to stay. I can't, like you said, it's all well and good Cristiano saying he wants to go, but if there's no one to buy him, he ain't going nowhere. So Cristiano Ronaldo, looks like you will be at Man United next season. And look, he's a professional. Once he realises that he ain't going nowhere and he sulks over, he'll knuckle down and probably smashing goals for them. Where he play, especially considering Man United are looking very sharp in pre-season with the three up top in Rashford and Martial as well. So I think they need him. I still think Manchester. I think Ten Hag looks at this and thinks. I could go. I've got a little bit of news about a couple of forwards that Man United might be bringing in a moment. So I'll be able to explain it a bit more there. But there's still that. For me, there's still a little bit light up front if someone gets injured. Yeah, because it's the four and they play with the front three. So. Yeah, unless they're going to bring out Palestri, Dallo. Yeah, unless they really see them coming through and being the backups to Sancho, Rashford, and Martial. Like you said, they do need. And Cristiano has a completely different forward to all three of those. He's more of a target man now. So they do probably need that weapon in their arsenal. So forwards for Man United. Centre forwards.
Well, centre forward, attacking wingers. Couple of bits of news that I've got here anyway. We all know that all summer window, there's been talk of Anthony, coming into the club. A big fan. Anthony wants to come to Manchester United. Ten Hag wants him. But Manchester United of interest has called since Ajax up the transfer fee. During talks. From 70 million euro to 80 million euro, which sort of peed off Manchester United a bit, and they called a little bit. But look, Anthony representatives, the player and United, they all want this deal to happen, but the gap is, Kieran, it's just substantially large. United want to pay 40 million. Look, that's a gap of 40 million. So, which is too large. A difference for like any compromise. You can't sit down and have let's work this one out. It's just, and that's why it's called. That's why United have pulled back, to the disappointment of many Man United fans. But I don't blame them for that. Because I don't think he's worth 80 million, not by a long chalk.
Was he had 2 seasons in the own division? Nah, come on. Look, We've got him. Is it Sao Paulo on a relatively low fee? He's an unknown player. Like 80 million. But they did the same.
It's crazy.
With Martinez. They got Martinez for 7.5 mil. So that's it. I paid what 15 mil for him, 16 mil for him, and they want 80 mil. Like,
I think it's a bit of like you're not having him type of thing. I mean, they've already taken their manager, they've already taken Martinez, and now like I think they're going to take Anthony and all. And I suppose they're getting pressured by the player and his representatives, his agent. But they're saying, yeah, all right, 80 million, whack. You know, I dare say Anthony and his representatives are trying to get it down as we speak. But there's just too far a gap for this to be sorted out. And I just can't see this happening, certainly not at this stage. And but look, you know, I guess we will find out sort of how much United want him in the coming weeks, whether they'll whack it up another 20 million. It depends how desperate they are. But look, like we've already said, with Ronaldo already looking like he's going to stay, and the form of Rashford, Martial and Sancho in the pre-season, you know, for me, you know, United fans, I mean, I wouldn't be holding my breath for, you know, and expecting, you know, Anthony to be a Man United player, you know, in the near future. But someone who possibly could be, who's literally for half the price of that, and is the 23-year-old player from Sassuolo, Gianluca Scamacca, where there's United there is interest for him. I mean, he would cost around about 35 million, obviously a lot less than Anthony. You know, West Ham are also in talks with Sassuolo about Scamacca, but as they are with Jesse Lingard, like we already mentioned earlier, who are they fighting for his signature with Nottingham Forest, like we already said. You would think, though, if United pressed hard for him, they would get him over the Hammers. And his contract expires in 2026. As I say, he's only 23. You know, his record is like 1 in 2 last season. So, yeah, I think he's maybe someone that they could bring in.
All right. Where are we at? Nicholas Telefico is hesitated over his move to Lyon. Lyon looked like set to complete a deal for Ajax's Argentinian left back. However, he's hesitated, causing Legons to explore other options, according to Sebastian Dennis. Telefico's move to Lyon has been in the pipeline for some weeks now. It was reported on L'Equipe early in July that the Ligue 1 club agreed a €4 million deal to sign the defender. That is pittance for a player of his quality. But the player himself has been hesitant, seemingly waiting for offers from Brighton. Very good move. Or a qualified European team who's qualified in European competition for next season. So yeah, Nicholas Tagliafico is a player who is still available because he's hesitating on a move. Jed Spence completed his move to Tottenham earlier on this week. Carney Chukwuemeka, the very highly regarded. Very highly regarded Aston Villa midfielder has rejected a contract offer from Aston Villa, and there's no sign of agreement. This kid's a star in the make. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like a German club, potentially a Dortmund, or I'd like to see him go to a club where he's going to get game time. We've seen that players that have gone to Germany, clubs like Dortmund, have got that opportunity. Even players like Joshua Malessa, I think his name is, that went to Bayern Munich. He's getting game time, and when he left from Chelsea, and if he was at Chelsea now, he would still be under 23s or playing or out on loan. So I'd like to see him go to a German team and have a good couple of seasons, or a good few seasons in Germany, playing week in, week out, and see how good this kid can be. Because I've watched him in the youth ranks at Aston Villa in the FA Cup last season. I watched a few games for Aston Villa, and he was awesome. He was, or was it the season before? But he was like the puppet master and scoring goals as well. So yeah, this kid's a beast. So keep an eye out on him. It's not me like news, it's Aston Villa news. So keep an eye out on him. And yeah, learn his name. Carney Chukwuemeka. is his name, and he's got a brother also that also plays. I think he's at Aston Villa now, but he was at Northampton. His brother's also good. His brother's a striker. Steve, Arsenal news, Arsenal latest.
Arsenal latest.
First of all, they completed the signing of Zinchenko. First and foremost, they completed the signing of Zinchenko. Steve, what's your thoughts quickly to anyone that hasn't seen your thoughts on Arsenal signing Zinchenko?
I think it's an absolutely fantastic signing. I've already mentioned that, you know, what he's going to bring to Arsenal. He's a winner. He's a leader. He's played for one of the biggest clubs in the Premiership, or the most successful club in the Premiership. He's won league titles. He's been played in the left back position for at least say two of them. As a regular, he's got everything. He can play in midfield. He can play with his left foot. He can play with his right foot. I've already said he's got the ability to one day he could be captain. I just think it's a fantastic signing. I see today on a podcast that people saying it's not really a great signing. I disagree with it. I think this is a great signing. I think it's a clever signing. As I say, he covers a multiple of different positions. He's both-footed. I think his leadership. I mentioned it yesterday. His leadership is just so important for me. He's someone who is a shouter on the pitch. He's a shouter in the dressing room, but also someone who players respect. Man City are gutted that he leaves. He's been given high praise from people like Kyle Walker, who's saying, he's one of the top three skillful players in that Man City have got, which was quite surprising. And you think of all the players that they got, Pep's, giving him such high praise today in a press conference, and for me, for 30 million, 32 million, I think with 30 million plus 2 million in add-ons. Which is not far off what we said right at the beginning when we first put the news out. Fantastic signing, mate. I can't wait to see him in a red and white shirt.
Definitely. As we said yesterday, Gabriel will not be moving to Juventus. The stories about Gabriel moving to Juventus and that he's willing to move and that Arsenal are open to selling and that they're going to bid 40 million euros is laughable. So just in case anyone missed yesterday, Gabriel will not be joining Juventus or any other club to add. All right, he's Arsenal's. Portuguese outlet Ojogo are reporting that Brighton are interested in taking Nuno Tavares on a season-long loan. Steve, have you heard anything on that?
Yeah, I've heard, and I did ask someone a couple of days ago on it. There's nothing really, to say that he's going to go, and the player doesn't want to go, which is what come across. Pretty, and I mean, he's literally said he don't want to go. He's been offered to be sold. He's been offered to go out on loan. And look, I think for me, I don't want him to go. I don't want him to go out on loan because I think he's a player there. He's a unit. I think he's got attributes to him that Arsenal don't have. And I think if we get if for instance, with Zinchenko, he's going to be possibly covering sometimes Thomas Partey or Granit Xhaka, and they get an injury, and then all of a sudden there's an injury to the other side. What's going to do? What are you going to do? Then you've got no left back. So especially if Zinchenko has to move in, because for me, if Zinchenko's around, or he will move into that midfield because he's already made a point. Before he came to Arsenal, that he wants to play in the midfield position. So I think you're going to see him there a lot, which tells me he needs to stay and still be that cover, just in case that we still need him, because I said like Zinchenko could be moving into the midfield at some points with Partey, and we all know what Partey's injuries are like. It's it ain't great, so we have to think of those things. So looking ahead, I can see why he wants to stay, and Arteta giving him the option if he wants to leave. Nothing advanced as far as I know.
Yeah, I think Arsenal got a big decision to make on their next move in the transfer market, because I do think they still need to make a move, and that's whether they as you're saying there, do they keep Tavares there? Do they bring in another left back, or do they bring in a central midfielder? Because, like I said yesterday, Zinchenko's only one body and he can play three positions. Yeah. So if any of those positions, not so much left wing, because we do have cover on that, but as we saw last season, for quality cover in those central midfield positions, we do not have. And then they can come in for a few. God forbid a Granit Xhaka or Thomas Partey get injured for a long period of time. You'd like to hopefully stick in a Zinchenko in that position, and then you've got to think about who's going to be the cover for Kieran Tierney, who record's not good at all.
I think he can take that position as well. I think he could actually come in and be that.
Well, the thing is, well. Kieran Tierney's injured right now, and the season starts in 13 days' time. So if the season starts and Kieran Tierney ain't there, for me, you have to start Zinchenko at left back. No matter what you said in negotiation before, Zinchenko will just want to play. That will be the first and foremost, the most important thing for Zinchenko. I don't think he'll be kicking up a stink about having to play left back. And Kieran Tierney ain't going to be there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if that is the case. Where do they go next in the transfer market? So
then you're going to need Tavares, aren't you? You're going to need him.
Yeah.
So you're going to need him.
We'll see. Another one is a big link that people keep on hitting me up about is Leroy Sane. Another former Manchester City player, very technically gifted. One of my favourite Manchester City players when he was there. I could watch him all day. What news have you got on Leroy Sane links?
Well, I mean, he's a fantastic player, and I think he would be a great signing for Arsenal. He's still of a good age, 26 years old. He's going to cost a lot of money. His contract runs out in Bayern in 2025. He'll cost around about £65 million. Now, I'm not, from what I've been told today, is that don't discount this. Don't discount this. But at the moment, there's not really anything advanced or on this. There's nothing sort of some potential I'm going to hang my hat on and say Arsenal fans get excited over Leroy Sane. I can't do that. It's true that he's not happy with his form at Bayern, and they're not happy with his form at Bayern either. I've been told today by sources in Germany and people very close to Arsenal that there has been no contact between agents or clubs at this stage. But I've also been told to not discount this. The likeliness of this is that he's going to get one more year at Bayern to see if he can regain his form. And if he doesn't regain his form, then he may get sold on next season. And he's someone Arsenal might be able to bring in the following season for like maybe a better price. But at the moment, no, not one to get, from what I've been told, not one to get excited about yet. But he would be a great buy. So yeah, he would be a good buy.
If Arsenal were to end this transfer window with either a Tielemans or a Leroy Sane to add to the what they've already brought in, I'm saying it now. It's 10 out of 10. It's 10 out of 10. Like I'll argue with anyone that this won't be a 10 out of 10 transfer window if Leroy Sane or Yuri Tielemans was to come in addition to what Arsenal have already brought. Whatever your preference is on any player, that would be unreal from Arsenal. Unreal.
Yeah. I mean, before we've got a bit of Leicester news here, but before I just go into that, I mean, people in the comments as well, who's had the best window so far? I mean, that's a question and a half, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to be out of Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham, isn't it?
That's probably a whole show in its own at the end of the window. Who's had the
definitely
window. So we'll be rehashing that when it comes to the end of the window.
Definitely.
Any more Arsenal news, Steve?
No, not at the moment. There's not a lot. I've already done the the news for Yuri Tillemans. We've already mentioned that. At the moment, that's pretty much it. I'm expecting one more player to come in. There's going to be the next lot of Arsenal news will probably be outgoings. Torreira, Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson. I've been told that they are expected to go. It's got to be. You're probably going to see more outgoings than like incomings. But Arsenal they're still not finished. They still want to bring in one more player. So I'm expecting that to be Yuri Tillemans from what I'm hearing today. Because it's as I say, there's been a lot going on with Arsenal. There's been a lot going on with transfers. So even myself has put Tillemans to one side because we've always been at a situation where you can't go no further with bids in. We're waiting for Leicester. I said about the other day, and the Tillemans were like that they wanted to try and talk him to gauge whether they could come, but we've already said earlier on that he doesn't want to. So I think Tillemans would be the next one, and also 3 or 4 outgoings.
Yeah, I've got a feeling with the Tillemans one, Arsenal waiting for Leicester to sort of make their move. Like Arsenal put down what they're willing to offer. It seems like Tillemans he wants to join Arsenal. There's no other real club that's coming for him. If Arsenal are calling Leicester's bluff again, this will be a masterstroke of a transfer deal where they know what they want to pay for him. They know no one else is really going for him. Wait until the last bit at the end of the season, and then Leicester are going to have to make the decision there whether they're going to lose this player on a free or potentially half the price in January, or sell him to Arsenal for 25 million.
I mean, his quote. I think it was today. It might have been today. Yuri Tillemans' quote. I'd say just for people who have come in late and they may have missed it. His quote today was, "I'm preparing for the new season. It remains to be seen whether I will be at Leicester next season or elsewhere." So for me, that's just a matter of whether they're going to accept the deal or not. So, and it's his last year of his contract. He ain't going to sign a new contract. So if he stays there, he's going to go for nothing at the end of the season. But I think they're trying to get 30, 31, 32 million now. And I think if Arsenal offered, what they wanted, then that'll be it. They'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any more news going about?
Just got some for the Leicester fans who have joined us tonight. A quick rundown on your club. So something that you're probably chomping at the bits for something to happen at Leicester, because Leicester City are the only Premiership club not yet to make a signing in this window. So, but there are circumstances for that. I mean, there's several exits on the cards. Obviously, we've just spoke about Yuri Tillemans. To Arsenal, that we're expecting that could happen soon. Also, a player that wants to leave and he wants out is Kalgala Sonacho. He's at the moment having talks with Inter Milan. Hamza Chowdhury, again, Steve Bruce wants him. He wants to bring him in. He's just not getting any game time at Leicester. A player who I thought was going to go on to be a great player, but he's just literally got frozen out at Leicester, and that's Jannik Vestergaard. And they're trying to find a club for him. You mentioned earlier on about Boubakary Soumare, who's subject to a 15 million bid from Monaco. As far as players been linked, there's not much from Leicester fans. You've got, he was linked to Charles Di Kettelari, but it's looking like he's going to be signing for AC Milan. I mean, that may already be done. Levi Colwell's another person that you're linked with. Ibrahim Sangari is another one. Sangari as a list of clubs, after him, and or actually including Manchester United, are interested in him as well. So, there's a little bit of news for Leicester there, but
trying to raise funds.
Trying to raise funds, mate. It's very quiet for them at the moment, and they need to get rid of players. So we've already spoke tonight about Yuri Tillemans and Jane Maddison, and I think it's a time for a new, getting rid of their big ones, people who don't want to be there, players who want to play in Champions Leagues or Europa Leagues, and start again, because they've had a great few years, and I think that's the way they have to go now.
It does need a fresh start. You got Yuri Tillemans who clearly wants to go. James Maddison he's had his eye on anyone above Leicester or sort of a bigger name than Leicester for the last couple of seasons. It seems like he's probably coming to the end of his time at Leicester, needs a fresh start. And as you said, Sionchu, a player who's very highly regarded. He had a bit of an iffy season last season, but before that, his first debut season with Leicester, I think everyone in the world wanted him. So, again, another player who's potentially looking elsewhere and probably needs a fresh start. But Leicester, you may not have done anything yet, but once those sales come through, we know they've got a very good scouting network, so they're bringing some players. Any more news on any Harry Winks? I know there was previous links from Leicester. Any more news on that?
No, nothing on Harry. I mean, he's someone who will leave Spurs. He's someone who, they want to find a club for. Everton was interested at one point. They want, they had talks and they stalled. But Harry Winks is a very good player. I've also heard Crystal Palace have been interested in Harry Winks. I think he'd fit in there well. I've heard Aston Villa are interested in him. No, as I said, with Leicester, I think they've got to sort out their outgoings yet, and I think that's probably why the Harry Winks story might come up again once they've started getting their outgoings, and then you might start bringing some players in, such as Harry Winks.
All right. Thank you very much for tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure.
All right, and thank you very much for everyone in the comments section. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you are new to the show, if you are a regular, press that like and press that share button. All you have to do is press the share button and press copy link, and then you're good. All right, appreciate that. As we always say, if you've got any questions, hit up Steve. Hit us up in the comment section on YouTube, or you can hit us up underneath some of the posts on the Transfer Exchange show on the Twitter page. Thank you for joining us. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.